This train is for North Berwick. The next station is Wallingford.
Well, hello there. We've got a bit of a dilemma here. I've just got off the train at Drem railway station. I got a train from Edinburgh to Drem. I'm in East Lothian, lovely part of Scotland, very different to all this stuff that happens in the west of the country. It sometimes feels like a different country, and I love it. But the main goal for today is to have a look at Chester's hillfort. And once I've done that, I'll head for Haddington via very close to another hillfort and the site of a battle where the Scottish flag, the saltire, was invented. Not that some guy sat down at a table and thought, well, what's the best way of doing this? Maybe a blue background? No, wait a minute, white cross? Well, that was a battle and they saw something in the sky that very much was Scotland's flag as it is today. But Chester's hillfort's not that far from here, but it's just getting there. I knew that, I mean, today's world seems to be geared towards and for motor vehicles. There's a car park by the hillfort. You're not meant to walk there, like, you know. And I knew there would be no pavement on the road from the station. There's about half a mile along the road there and then up another little road. Where are we here on this map? Yeah. But it's actually, although it's not a busy road, the cars on it are very fast and there just doesn't seem to be enough room. There's not really a verge that you could be safe on. So I am wondering if I can... This was a road that's clearly fenced off, says no entry. I'm presuming that's for cars. I'm hoping that I can go down here and that there will be a field boundary that will take me in the direction of Chester's hillfort and I'll bypass all those roads. Whether that's the case, I don't know. There might be a big water-filled ditch. I might not be able to get to the fort this way, in which case I'll just have to come back and take a chance on the road. But let's take a chance on this little road and see if we can get there. This would be a far more pleasant way to get there, away from all these noisy vehicles. Drem. Quite a boring name for a place, isn't it? Drem. You think they could have spiced it up a bit by calling it Dremborough or Dremton or something, you know. It's adventure time. Well, so far so good. Chester's hillfort is just, I think, that little bump on the right of the woodland there. And I've got a wall here, it's a field boundary. I'm not going to be interfering with any crops. Some of these fields are in crop. I think that's potatoes there. This one, I think it's just been put to grass. You don't want to be wandering over fields. Stick to the field boundary, I would advise. As I say, this isn't the recognised route to Chester's hillfort. The recognised route and all the signage is the other side of it, on a minor road where you're supposed to approach it by car. I'm unusual in that respect in that I don't have a car. I don't have a smartphone. I'm just an old guy out dandering. So I think we'll follow this wall here. I'm not sure what will happen once I reach the woodland. We'll play it by ear, but we're not that far away. It's much more peaceful coming up this way. You know, I really didn't want to be dicing with death on that road down there. Yeah. Well, we're not quite home and dry yet. I think that's the hillfort just over there. We've got two bumps here. It's tempting to think it's up there, but no, I think that's it there. Which means I've got to sort of go down here and up. You can see vague hints of paths. I suspect other people maybe come this way, but not too many. Let's hope I can get down here okay. It's astonishing weather. This is just a few days after Guy Fawkes, which is usually the turning point in a year where suddenly it becomes frosty and misty in the mornings and you smell wood smoke in the air. But I had to take my jacket off, it was too hot. So wandering about in shirt sleeves in November, it's quite unusual. Anyway, fingers crossed that we can get down here okay. Am I in shot? I think I might be. I'll go back a wee bit. Right. Well, I sort of, that's the hillfort just behind me. I'm still not sure how I'm going to get into it. It looks like there's an electric fence around it. Why is life so complicated? But this is an interesting big boulder. I remember when I visited the Meikle Reeve Hillfort above Lennoxton in the Kilduff Hills, or the Campsie Fells, I can't remember which one of the two it is, but above Lennoxton. And it just outside its bank and ditch defences was a big boulder. Not too dissimilar to this one. I don't think this is its natural resting place. I suspect it's been placed here and it has something to do with the hillfort. What is the question? Yeah. If you've got any ideas, drop me a comment. Anyway, let's try and not get electrocuted here. Oh. Well, I've made it inside. This is Chester's Hillfort. A rather strange hill fort, to be honest, because there's a bigger lump of ground over there. There's a slope there, a little big dip, a little valley-ish thing, and a big slope. Surely that would have been a better place for your hill fort. Anyway, they chose this site. I've seen better hill forts from the air. I'll maybe show you a Google Earth shot of it just now. It looks pretty impressive from the air. On the ground you can see lots of pretty big banks and ditches and things, but on the whole it's just not a great deal to see once you're actually in here. I think from an archaeological point of view and terminology, I think what you have there is a lump, and just behind it, near that bush, is a bump. The whole thing's full of lumps and bumps, basically. And the ground's very uneven. There's stones under the ground here. There is a lot going on. And it's a bit iffy underfoot. You don't know what's going on. You can't see what you're putting your feet in. Anyway, I'll have a brief wander and then we'll head that way onto the minor road. At which point, where are we here? Minor road, we'll head up past Campton, an appropriate name for a steading near a hill fort. We'll go up that, no, in fact we're going to turn left at Campton towards Kilduff Hill, is that? Right on the bend of my map as usual. Yeah, and then we'll head towards Kilduff in the area of Athelstaneford, and the site of that battle. That's the plan. Too early for lunch. If I don't break an ankle, that's the plan. Well, this is not where I really intended to be. I seem to be on the top of Kilduff Hill. I meant to be skirting that side of it. But as I say, I'm missing paths that are on my map. This fairly well used track is going in the right direction, in the direction of Kilduff steading, so we're okay. I just didn't want to come up this little bit of height. Yeah, there we go. It's very hard to convey on film, on video, how beautiful it is here. It really is stunning stuff. Over there you can see the ruins of a castle that we'll be passing shortly as we head towards another hill fort, which we will just pass. I'm not going to stop to have a look at it before making for Haddington. The walk in total, I calculated it about 7 or 7.5 miles or something. I mean, the sign there says public path to Drem 2 miles. The way I came was more than 2 miles. As I say, I don't know what happened. I managed to join the path on this side, or the track, road in fact, this side of Kilduff Hill, or whatever you call it. I'm not sure how I missed it in the first place. Anyway, it's a quiche today, no pie. Quiche Lorraine. Whatever Lorraine means. Was it made by Lorraine? I don't know. Can you get quiche Bob? Anyway, I'll get talking into this in a minute. Marks and Spencer, I'm sure it'll be very good. There's an awful lot of emphasis in the media these days about AI and how it's revolutionising the world. I'm slightly alarmed that the government is placing quite a bit of emphasis on AI to bring us out of economic doldrums. Because every time I ask Google Chrome a question on my computer and AI comes up with a response, on way too many occasions it's just nonsense. It really is. A way of avoiding AI responses on your computer, if you're asking, for example, a question, after your question, put in the minus or the negative symbol. Now you've got plus minus, put in the minus symbol followed by AI, and in the majority of cases it won't give you the AI response. I've noticed in recent times, I don't know if it's been after COVID or what, but supermarkets would appear on the whole to be stacking or stocking their shelves early in the mornings when they're open to the public. I'm sure it used to be the case where that was done during the night, some people on night shift. Now you go into the supermarket in the morning thinking you'll get a bit of peace and quiet to do your shopping, and the place is festooned with huge wheeled trolleys and baskets and shelf stacking paraphernalia, and you just feel as if you're in the way as a shopper. It surely can't be right, like, you know. I mean, apart from it feeling a bit unwelcoming to shoppers, I really see it as an accident waiting to happen. All these huge metal cages getting wheeked about the place while shoppers are trying to not get run over. It's not good. I mean, I presume supermarkets are trying to save money. It must have cost them extra money to do this during the night. So now they do it in the mornings when they're open to the public. It's wrong, guys. It's very, very wrong. Anyway, I think that's a chat. I can't think of what else to say. For goodness sake, come out. Right there. Very nice. Lorraine has done a good job. Well, I've got this in automatic settings just now. The sun's coming and going, and yeah, starting to get maybe a little bit dark. Well, not dark, the sun, it's this time of year it gets dark early. Automatic settings will sort every situation out. The sun can do what it wants. And there'll be folk watching this who are thinking, I don't care what setting your camera is. I care. Alright. It's decision time here. I was originally going to go up that way, the skirt of that other fort there. I'm not going to bother, there's just there's a slight incline. I'm starting to feel a bit weary. So I'm just going to follow this very straight road down. Cross the A1, head for Abbey Mill Farm, then follow the river into Haddington. That's the plan. Might not be just as exciting as up there, but I've made my decision. Well, that's me made it to Haddington. I'm pretty wrecked, to be honest. It's been probably a couple of years since I've been in Haddington. I've noticed quite a few places closed down. I suppose it's typical for many towns. There's just a general steady decline, for want of a better word. Lovely old kind of pub, other end of the high street, a sort of Masonic type theme that's shut and falling apart by the looks of it. There's a place just over there, I think it used to be a hotel or a cum bar, it's up for let, it's shut. Incredible, just a general sense of deterioration in the place in Haddington. I've always thought of it as a rather grand town. I'm not so sure now. But anyway, at least we made the effort and got out for a bit of a dander. At this time of year, it feels as if it requires superhuman effort to get out the house and do something in the great outdoors. But invariably, when you make that effort, it's worth it. So I'll just get a bus back to Edinburgh, then a train back to Glasgow, then a train back to Partick. I'm Eddie Burns. Take care.